Hey guys, and welcome back to Trip Bombs and Hot Flushes, where midlife, of course, gets real. Today on Trip Bombs and Hot Flushes, we're joined by a woman whose life bridges science, law, and storytelling. She's an author, a law student, and seasoned healthcare professional with years of experience in laboratory services. With qualifications in paralegal practice and healthcare management, she brings a rare perspective that blends intellect with lived experience. As the author of When the Clock Stopped, she takes us through heartfelt reflections on infertility, love, and resilience. She's also a proud wife, fondly known as the shoreside wife to her seafarer husband and mom to two fur babies. With warmth, wit, and authenticity, she has a way of making every conversation feel both real and relatable. Let's welcome the beautiful Nerushka.
Thank you for having me here today.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for taking the time off to actually sit here in our hot seat so we can just pick your brain a little bit today. So yeah, let's stuck into it. You can see I've got my infamous page with me just so I don't forget all my questions for you. Guys, it's not scripted again. It's just I have brain fog being 43, so I clearly need to have this on hand because as women we do get carried away with chatting. So, and we might just miss some very important questions. But I think more so before we dive into this beautiful book, When the Clock Stopped. I think let's just pick you a bit on who's Nerushka. So I know you wear a lot of hats. Author, law student, healthcare professional. I mean, gosh, the list goes on. Wife, fur baby mom. So which one of these roles most feel like home to you?
I think from all the roles, I think wife would be the role that is more home, because for me it's more of a sanctuary of partnership. It's where I feel seen, I'm heard, and I feel connected. So, and especially having the type of marriage that I have, where my husband is away for 4 months at a time, it's difficult, but that's where I see myself most at home. But then in saying that, there's no one role that it feels like home on its own. It's a balance of this love and connectivity and purpose that all collide. So it shows us that there's so many layers to what should be home.
Oh, absolutely. So we've touched in that hubby is away for a few months on end. Gosh, 4 months. What is it like being a seafarer's wife? Like, how do you cope? It's not him just, going away for a week or 2 weeks or the weekend. It's 4 months.
4 months at a time.
Yeah. Exactly. It's not just 4 months in the year, 4 months at a time. So when he's back though, how long is he here?
Well, it depends. Usually a month. Okay. A month and a half at most, Okay. And then he goes again. So for this year, I've seen my husband for 8 weeks.
Oh, goodness.
In this entire year, that's what.
Right now, tell us, how do you deal? Oh my gosh.
Well, it's not for the faint-hearted.
I can imagine,
you learn to fix things that you never thought you'd be able to fix. Yes. You can sleep diagonally on the bed. No. And also have full-on conversations with your pets.
Yes.
But what I've learned, how this has shaped my marriage, is that it's given us a level of independence and trust that only this type of relationship can actually of course. Teach. Yeah. But I've also learned that I don't pretend that it's easy, because it's not easy. It's a very difficult thing that I have to do. But we've tried to create a rhythm as a couple. Like, we communicate every day. We set aside time every day to be able to communicate, because there's sometimes, during the day something happens and you wanna offload on somebody. It can be the smallest thing, but you want your person. Yeah. So we've tried to balance that out, and it's 6 years now, and it seems to be working for us. So
and you know what also helps is you know, at fast forward to 2025, we have all these different forms of communication now.
Yes.
It's not where you could see him, so it's like he's there but not there. You know, and you can just, you know, if you're having a moment, as you said, and you really need to vent, and you need your husband, you can just get him on the phone, or so many different ways of communication, which is brilliant. You know, to actually just still keep that spark alive, that because it's a lot. It's a lot 4 months, you know, apart. But I know you adore your fur babies. So how does that help when he's away?
They are just unconditional love. Like they fill in those emotional gaps, I could say.
Yeah.
And he had got them for me as a surprise gift because he knew I needed something to latch onto, something to, you know, project all these overwhelming feelings that I was having.
Yes.
You know, something to love. And they somehow, I won't say they filled the gaps entirely, but they filled in those gaps of isolation and loneliness.
And I'm sure, like, you getting home every day, there you've got them probably barking up a storm, coming to you in the house. I'm sure it does not feel empty and quiet, because they just fill that space. Hey, kudos to your husband, I have to say. That's quite thoughtful. You know, because prior to your fur babies being around, how was life then, coming home to?
Coming home was just lonely. I would come home to a quiet, empty house, and it was painful. And he knew I always needed something, and he obviously thought that getting me to little
what dogs are they?
They're Yorkies.
Oh my goodness. Scamps, I'm sure.
They are balls of energy.
Yes.
So, and they're very naughty.
Yeah.
So they keep me on my toes.
I can imagine. All over the place, I'm sure. Oh, but that's lovely. It's something, I'm sure you look forward to coming home to them, because,
And it's something that a lot of people don't understand. Like, how they say, how do you replace a child with pets? But it's not the same, but it's comfort for me. It's I know it's not a child, and people tell me, why do you treat them like children? And
I think it's quite harsh to say you're replacing children with pets. I think that's very harsh. It's very insensitive. This is your sense of comfort. You're not replacing anything. You know, so
it's just trying to fill a void, I would think.
Yes.
Not a replacement as such.
And I think this misconception of we get a dog is not a human being. We get that, but they still bring you love unconditionally. So there shouldn't be any type of comparison to it, but it's bringing you what you need.
Yes.
And I think that should be sufficient enough for everybody. Stop asking the questions. Inappropriate ones. But so when people meet you for the first time, what's the one thing you wish they really understood beyond all the different titles that surround Nerushka?
I would like for people to see that the strength that I have was not something that was just given to me. It was earned. This entire journey has given me a strength of a different kind. Like it has been like a lesson in fortitude for me to be able to be, you know, so strong in it. And I'd like people to see that, because everybody thinks I come from like a privileged background. I have like a good husband, my lifestyle currently, and things like that, but nobody knows what's beneath that,
and the struggles.
Yes, the struggles beneath that, because I show up every day, makeup, dressed, and nobody knows that there's actually a deeper layer to me.
Yes.
So I'd like for people, to want to get to know that, not just look at me and say, oh,
but she looks just so put together. So
no, she couldn't have anything going on with her.
Exactly.
Yes.
Which is so unfair.
It is.
Yeah. I mean, you put on your makeup, you dress well because you want to feel good. You want to feel good because you're battling with so much within you. If you don't do these little things for yourself, you will completely deflate and go into a little bit of a closed space. It's not a nice space to be in. And I think it's so good for people to understand that don't just take what you see face value, you know. There's always a deeper, struggle. And there's everyone walking around us is going through something. It's just some of us mask it better than others. You know?
Yes.
And we got to see it like that.
And like I've become so protective of my energy now, and I'm so protective of the people that I allow into my space. I'm so selective about it. Like as I've gotten older, I have less of friends than I did when I was younger. And it's just because I need people to understand where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
And I was having a conversation with a friend the other day, and they said to me that I need to be friendlier and more approachable because I'm missing out on the people, the good people that there are out there. And I said, no, like I protect myself first because I've been through enough to know that there's people that you don't want.
Well, yes, and I think when you've turned 40. Right, I still can't believe that. That makes we can't associate 40 with you, but anyway, you look wow. I think when you get into that midlife, you start decanting your life in a sense, flushing out, because you start seeing things from a very different set of eyes, very different perspective. For you, well, clearly now we're chatting about like friendships. I know, like when you're in your 20s or 30s, friendships, you want them in like abundance. And then, for me personally was getting to 40s and you want quality over quantity. So what has been like, I say the reawakening of Nerushka in turning 40? In every aspect, from friendships, family, life in general.
Like as you just said, we decant.
Yeah.
And that's exactly how, when I turned 40, I cut out things that don't serve me any longer. That don't serve me any longer. That if it doesn't add value to my life, it doesn't need to be in my life. That goes for friends, family, whoever it is. I think I've come to that age where, it's okay if you don't want to be in my life or I don't want to be in yours. It's okay.
It's okay. You don't fight it anymore.
You don't fight it anymore.
You don't force it as well. Yeah.
You just you let it happen. And whatever keeps you happy is, I think, the most important thing. And for me, that's what turning 40. Because turning 40 for me, it shifted something inside of me. How I had imagined my life and how it plays out is completely different.
Yeah.
So I go with this value, like.
Yeah.
And as you said, quality over quality. I mean,
quality
over
quantity.
quantity.
Yeah.
Quality over quantity.
No, for sure. I think it just. I think we start seeing life without blinkers on. 40 does something very special. It's as I repeatedly say this. Yes, it brings in so much of beauty and so much of chaos as well. But I think a lot of women. I'd have to say men as well to a certain degree, when they get into midlife, kind of wake themselves up to their people and their circle. And you realize that even if there were friendships that were there for years, it still now doesn't form part of your circle because it doesn't align with who you are as a being or who you're becoming, So that's great. It's great that it's self-discovery. Yeah.
Self-discovery.
That's it. So, okay, we're gonna now get into the emotional, the crux of this entire episode, and I think I was really looking forward to this episode, because there's a lot of women in your sitting in your situation basically, or have been through what you've been through. Infertility is on a rise, on a high rise. And it's not something a lot of women want to speak about. So a huge round of applause for you to actually be here in the hot seat and show the strength and courage and bravery to sit here and speak your truth and tell us your story, in hope that it helps women out there who are going through what you've been going through. So let's get to this. When the clock stopped, I've been so thrilled that I got to read this. So it's such a powerful title. It's a very powerful title. So can you take us to the moment when you felt that's it, the clock has stopped for you?
So for me, when the clock stopped for me was when I turned 40. Well, it was the months preceding me turning 40.
Okay.
Because for me, it felt like friends were sharing baby updates, getting a baby news, pregnancy announcements. Like everybody's life was moving forward except for mine. I was in between that hoping and waiting and just being hopeful.
Yeah.
And it was like the world sped up, but mine stopped. So at that point, it was like something inside of me had shifted that for me, the clock has stopped, like turning 40. And you think back to, people say, oh, your biological clock is going to stop and you need to think about your clock. And it was just all those things. It was like a combination of all those.
But, with you saying that your biological clocks, is ticking, or it's going to stop, or it's this. But people don't understand that we don't have control over that clock. It's that pressure.
Yes, it's the pressure that, I think it's the pressure also that makes you feel all these feelings, that you have not met these timelines.
Yeah.
You are at this age,
Yeah.
you're supposed to have done X, Y, and Z because that is what the life plan is. And you haven't. So are you falling short? And you're falling short not at your own fault. So how do you explain that to anyone?
And especially, as we were chatting before, coming from our Indian culture, timelines are a thing. It's like put into our brains from the time we are young, you've got to get married at a certain age. You've got to have a baby at a certain age. Have the first baby, you've got to have another baby. No, that child needs a partner. Have a second one. Oh no, why don't you try for the third? It's this cycle that keeps going, and then we as women in this culture, which I say in our culture because us being Indian, but I know for a fact the pressure is still the same in other cultures and race groups as well. But when you have that stigma put on you that if I am 30, I'm too old to be having a baby. If you have that, it's a thing it's a constant of, this is how life is supposed to be. There's no this way or that way. No, you're supposed to be getting married, right? You're dating someone, you have to get married. Gotta get married. Whether you see like 100 red flags, but no, you're getting old now, you gotta get married. So, and that's where we see how many relationships are tainted because of the pressure. It's the young ladies that are stuck in a rut of like, no, but we've kind of gotta just get married now because my mom said or my dad said, because you know what, it's we're married for a year, no, we need to start having a baby because my auntie said, but you're getting old now, come on now, the clock is ticking. And I feel like it's time that we just change this, man. We've got to really change this. And it's okay if you're 45 having a baby, if you're 50 having a baby. Janet Jackson did it, so why not? So it should be okay. That stress needs to just be released from,
And it's also okay if you don't.
That's it. That's it.
It's okay.
If you don't have a baby, if you don't get married, you're still you. There's no, it has to be done. It's not set in stone.
And it tends to make you question yourself as a woman. Why can't my body do what it is
I'm sure.
meant
Yeah.
to
To
do?
do.
Like, you doubt yourself as a wife, as a daughter-in-law, as, a woman. I mean,
Because we've known that, you know what, a woman, I mean, we have a uterus. We should be carrying a baby. That's just
how
what
it's made.
centuries of that's how it's made. And here's, you know, you know, like what's going on here? It's everything's in working order here. Why is this? You know. So I think I can see how you would have all these questions, like silently killing you in a sense, because I'm sure you weren't able to verbally just open up and go like, hey, you know what, this is actually stressing me out here after the first year of trying or the second year of trying or the third year, but you still hold it together. So for you, it is a silent grief. It is, infertility is a silent grief. So what was like the hardest part for you having the silence? Because a lot was going up in your mind, but like how was it on daily life?
The grief that comes with this type of journey, with this type of thing, it's not. It's usually like a whisper. It's not a roar. It's not loud. It comes when you, just before you go to sleep. If you are walking through a baby aisle, that's the time that it that
That hits.
yeah, it
home,
hits you. And invitations to a baby shower, or hearing that a friend has, fallen pregnant. It's that type of thing that, you tend to carry that silence, and you can't tell anybody. But I've been so support my husband has been so supportive in this, where even most times when he had nothing to say, he would just let me, just talk about it. But he was the only person that I could talk to about it, because it was embarrassing. I felt embarrassed to say to anybody, I'm struggling, I'm having this problem and I struggle. Even two of my best friends, they said that when I published this book, that they cannot believe that I actually went to the extent of doing this, because I'm such a private person, and I don't speak about these things openly. So eventually, as time passed, I knew that the silence needed to be
Yes,
broken. That
yes.
I needed to say something, because there are other people
Of
like
course.
there has to be
But that
other
was
people
a
like
massive
me.
step, I think.
There
Yeah.
has to be other people like me that it's eating them silently. So that was one of the reasons as to why this
Came
yes
about.
yeah. And then that the silence is lonely. It's very lonely. And also, like, the grief, like, people ask me, do you not get jealous when you go for a baby shower, or you hear that somebody is pregnant? For me, I feel that jealousy is just grief in a different outfit. It's still grief. It's not that you are not happy for the person. It's grief.
And I feel like I get that because it's I can't say jealousy with like the green monster sitting on your shoulder, but to a point of I want to experience that.
Yeah.
I want to be the one sitting in there and having a baby shower for myself, and I think it's only right that you feel that way. If you didn't feel that way, you wouldn't be human. You know, but yeah, it must have been so difficult. Like, how was it with like family pressures and being a wife, being a daughter-in-law, like from your family perspective and your in-law perspective? How was it? How was the pressure, or how did you feel?
The pressure, I wouldn't say pressure is much from my family. They just let it happen.
Yeah.
But my mom would be like, oh, when you're gonna have a child. But it wasn't like a direct pressure.
Okay.
Yet as a daughter-in-law, you are forced
Forced,
to
yes.
have a
Because
child.
it's a requirement.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's a requirement. And right up until this day, I still get asked, "Oh, when are you going to have a child?" Like, it's understood that I've got these issues, but, oh well, not issues as such,
yes,
but
yes.
there's
There's no medical
yes,
issues.
there's no medical
Yeah.
issue, but
Let's just get that
yeah,
out. Yeah, there's no,
no
medical,
medical
issues.
but there's that inability at this
Yes.
point. But I keep getting asked that, when are you going to have a child? When am I going to have a grandchild? Like, and I feel that's pressure on me,
Of
because
course.
how I cannot force myself to do what my body cannot
Cannot.
do. And I've had cycles of IUI. I had cycles of IVF, and nothing took. And then you hear, like, my mom, for instance, will say that, that's not something that you go and you do. It's something that God determines.
Yeah. It's that generation.
Yes,
though
it's
now.
God.
Yeah.
God
Yeah.
determines that. But also from a scientific perspective, that works.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, like, there is still pressure. Like, aunties would ask, so when are you giving your mom-in-law a grandchild? Or
that line is so funny though, because it's like you could just decide, right, okay, tomorrow we are falling pregnant because I think I need to give the in-laws a grandchild. And but it's used time and time again. Like, you could just switch on and say, right, time to make a baby. We're going to literally, like how you bake a cake in the oven, we're going to just bake this baby and it's going to be here in 9 months. And I think if we remove that mentality, if society can just remove that mentality and let it be, because everyone's journey and everyone's path is completely different. But adding on these, exterior pressures just puts more weight on you as an individual and as a woman, because that's the one thing we associate ourselves with. Oh, women, we are supposed to be mothers, What if we change the narrative? Women are supposed to be tons of things, not only just mothers, So can we focus on the fact that, hey, Nerushka is such a brilliant woman, like from a professional stance, you're not an author, can we at least focus on all of that? So it's like, how has this journey actually affected, like, your sense of womanhood and your self-worth, so to speak?
It had, I don't want to say it had affected me.
Okay.
Like, I had to rebuild myself up, because for me it was, if I cannot do what my body is meant to do, there has to be something wrong with me. Am I not a woman? Because that is what we're made to do, and it's not. And then I realized that my worth is not tied to my womb. It's so many other things. It's how I show up to the world, how I show up for the people that I love. Is that not maternal instincts in itself?
Yes.
Like, why do I have to make a baby in order to have those maternal instincts and not care for people as a mother to my sibling or friends or friends' kids? Like, that doesn't it's not the sole purpose, like, of being a woman.
It's not the end all and be all of being a woman. We are so much more.
But in saying that, it took me a long time to actually realize that, because being married for 9 years, and then you think there has to be something wrong with me because I'm a woman and I can't do what God intended. So it really, there were times that I didn't know how to cope with it, and every month I'd get that reminder that it did not work. So that was like the harshest thing. I would have like mini nervous breakdowns every time that happened.
I think it's like all the hope builds up, and it builds up to this one moment. See, do I get a period or do I miss a period? And I can only imagine. And the odds were against you guys because your husband's away so often. So to take that into factor as well, it's not just, hey, I'm ovulating, oh, husband's here, let's just get the deed done and let's just do this, So you've had so much packed against you, and you need to give yourself a lot of grace, because seeing the women sitting here today, to have come through all of that, and still we don't know what God's plans are. just FYI, I had a baby at 40. So I'm just saying, we just don't know. And yeah, it's such a difficult one, because what you've been through, I can maybe only understand it like a tip of it. Although I was told years ago that I couldn't have kids, and yes, there was a medical issue, but I had kids, so I can't completely. I could say, yeah, oh, I can imagine, but what I can be is sensitive to how you could feel, and I think that's what, as women, we need to also think before the words come out of our mouth. Sometimes, yeah, maybe it's innocently done. Sometimes, what's coming out is harsh. So just nip it in the bud there. But what would you say to any of our listeners out there that's sitting now in your I still feel by saying sitting in your situation, it seems so, your situation it seems so harsh. I feel like I need to think of another subtle word, but or what you've gone through. If they are basically going through this, and they are silent about it, and asking themselves, why me? What's your advice to them, considering you've been through so much already?
That your journey it's still sacred. Whatever you are going through, it's important for you to recognize that. Keep asking why me. We've all been there. I've been there thousands of times, that I kept asking why me. And then, like before, as we were talking, and I said that everybody's path is not the same. So your path is sacred. You can still enjoy life. You can still do things without having that burden or that stress of wanting this so bad. That you can still live a normal life. There's still so much more that you can do, and having that baby does not define who you are.
And it also doesn't mean your life is not normal.
Yes.
At all.
But that is what people make us believe, that you are not.
Yeah.
It's because you don't have that.
Which is just, it's so sad. It's so sad to be living in the day and age that we're living in, and there's still this massive stigma.
And you would think that we've come so far, and that we've progressed, intellectually, that we would understand, and like emotional intelligence, it's something that people should have and be mindful of others.
Yes.
But no, we still conform to that.
Yeah. So infertility can either break or can strengthen a marriage. So how did it impact your relationship with your husband? As you mentioned, he is away a lot, and I'm sure reality is there must have been times where it's taken quite a strain. So
it has taken a strain. It has done both. It's broken us, and it's actually rebuilt us. It's brought us together. Because there were times where I felt he wasn't invested enough in it. It was because of his work and being away, and I'm here trying to do this, and how am I going to do it on my own? And I felt like he wasn't invested in it, and it brought out, it shaped our marriage in like such a way that we are more connected now. We are in a place that we are, instead of where we wish we were. Like we don't imagine ourselves now with what it would be like if we had kids, or like kids running around. We just enjoy our marriage for what it is now. But it almost broke us as well, because the stresses, he's got his own stresses and I've got my own, and then it was just snowballing. And the pressure that we always think that the pressure falls on us as women, but it also falls on them. Because for them it feels like maybe I'm not doing enough. Or like what I'm doing depends on whether she gets
Gets pregnant
pregnant.
or not.
Yes, so it's also stressful in
And
that
men are
aspect.
not as emotional in a sense where you would physically see that it's taking its toll on us. They kind of seem to suppress it, where we get this misconception of, yeah, they're okay, they handle it so differently, so you know, but they silently also, yeah,
Because
battle with it.
yes, because he would just be quiet, and I would be like, "Why is this not affecting you as
Yes,
much as
yes,
it's affecting
yes.
me?" But not knowing that it is
It is
affecting,
actually, yeah.
it is affecting him, but he's just not showing it the way I
Okay.
am, like just being like this emotional wreck.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, do I expect him to be crying all the time, like that type of thing? But it was very different
Yeah.
for him and for me, and I think we've got to understand that now. Well, I've got to understand that, he's also grieving, but it's in his own way.
Yes, yes.
And like when he does return home, there is still that pressure of, is it going to happen now? Do we
Yes,
have enough
yes.
time for this to
Yeah.
happen? So yeah,
It's-
navigating a long distance marriage
That
is
is, I'd say, absolute kudos to you. Gosh, and doing it for so many years. But I'm sure it's now become like just a by the way for you, because you've adapted to it. And although you'll have your lives away from each other, but you still have that connection, that bond, that actually solidifies everything and makes everything worth it at the end of the day.
it does.
So going through all that you've been through, did your faith or your personal belief play any role in how you actually processed everything? Or did you even just throw in the towel and say, I'm giving up on faith?
Absolutely. My faith had been shaken. And I can even say now that it hasn't not been untouched.
Yeah.
Like, my faith has been rocked. Like, I'm a devout Hindu, and I prayed my whole life. I was on the straight and narrow, did everything, prayers, like I was
By the book.
by the
Yeah.
book. And eventually when this wasn't happening, I was like, but why is it not
And
happening?
you start to question.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm questioning, but it's happening to somebody who was not married. It's happening to this person, but why is it not happening to me? Will I not be a good mother? Do I not have the things the requirements
Yes.
of
Yes.
having
All
a
these
child?
questions, I'm sure.
All
Just,
these questions, like you check all the boxes, but why is it not happening? And for it, I mean, to be honest, there was a time in a space in time that I actually stopped praying. Like, I stopped lighting my I stopped lighting my lamp at home. I stopped praying, and my husband, he understood. He never pushed me.
Pressured you into.
Yes, he never pressured me, because he knew at that I was in a dark place.
Yeah.
And that was,
Yeah.
but also my faith sort of helped me out of it, if that makes any sense.
Yes.
Like,
No, it does. It kind of navigated you to who.
yes,
Nerushka
like,
is now.
yes,
Yeah.
like it sort of pulled me back to, okay, you need to think about things like, more logically,
Yeah.
like that type of thing. But my faith, I can still say that it's shaken. It's not the same, but it's there now. It's still there. But yeah, there's an entire chapter in my book that I know everybody's, beliefs are different and things like that. And, some people think, oh, but that's the only way, God is the only way to help you through things. But in that space and time, I was in a place where I questioned everything.
Yes. So if God's really here for me, then why do I not have a baby?
Yes.
Or
and if I'm talking to you all the time, why are you not listening?
Why are you not listening? Yes. Yes.
Like, it was that.
But I think
I had that type
something
of
that
mindset.
I think a lot of people in general would have had a faithless moment in life. You have to, because it only builds you, and you become more resilient in your faith, basically, because you've got to go through those moments of saying, right, this is not doing it. I've done everything by the book, but it's still not giving me the outcome that I want. And you're human. You have to question these things. You're not human if you don't. So was there any I'm sure you've had a lot of really down moments, but for you, can you extract one of the worst, darkest moments where you just felt like, how do I actually pull myself out of this? How do I get myself back on track here? I'm losing, Nerushka basically.
That was it was maybe about 2 or 3 weeks before my 40th birthday.
Okay.
And I think I was slowly falling into a depression because I was just overwhelmed. I would cry all the time because this day was nearing, and I haven't done what I'm supposed to do. Like, my dreams are just slipping away. Like, everything's just slipping away from me. And my husband was at home at the time, and he did not know how to manage the situation.
Yes.
Because it was just so overwhelming for me. And I did not want to have a 40th birthday party. I did not want to celebrate anything. I just did not want the day to happen. And for me, at that point, was the darkest moment. And that's where this started. I started journaling, and I started just putting all these messy thoughts onto paper, and seeing that it's actually, my words are making sense. My feelings are coming to life on this. But that for me was the most like turnaround moment.
Okay. So, like, looking back, what do you see as your greatest source of strength? What or who or through this whole process?
I think my greatest source of strength would be my resilience, because I live in the in-between, between hoping and waiting and absence and presence. And I've been able to draw strength from that. Is because, like, navigating this type of relationship is so difficult. And I can't say I've drawn my strength from any one person or anything in particular. I think it's from myself, like from deep down, that I've been able to realize that I am strong enough to deal with this. I've endured so much, and people don't also understand how difficult it is to have this type of marriage and to also deal with this on the other side. So it's like it's two huge aspects. And I think I've come so far, and I think my strength is from within me. That's where I draw most of it from. I don't want to say it's any one person or any one thing that I get it from, but it's from within.
It's basically you showed up for you.
Yes.
And I think ultimately, at the end of the day, that makes so much sense, because when you're going through anything, I mean, even if you're going through like a depressed phase, or, you can be advised, you could be surrounded by many, but it's you that's going to pull you out of it. It's just having that moment where your mind says, right, listen, you've got to get it together. And so, I think you got to give yourself a pat on your back. So what actually pushed you to turn all that your private pain into this beautiful book?
I felt that I needed to give my words a voice. I needed to give my feelings a voice. And like, as I mentioned earlier, it just began as journaling, and it became a book. And also, I want to change that narrative for other women that are like me, to say it's okay. It's okay to feel those feelings. It's okay to go through these things, because it's also okay if the end result is no baby. That it's fine.
It's I'm glad you said that, because I know, as I mentioned to you when I was reading the book, and I just got so captivated by it and kept reading, and then as I was nearing the end, and then I just held back a bit, and I'm like, I just need this to have the ending that I want. I need it to have the ending that I want, please. And then you get to the ending, and I'm not going to say it's not a happy ending, because it really is a happy ending, because it's self-discovery, it's you finding you again, and so it's still a beautiful ending. But it's just this thing in you that so was there any time when you were, because this is your intimate feelings, everything that you think, your mind, your words that we don't say, things that we don't speak, you put it pen to paper. Was there any point where you're like, oh gosh, when the book was done, I don't think I can share this? Did you go through a moment like
Yes,
that?
yes. The self-doubt started to surface when my book had gone to publishing.
Yeah.
And I know this is going to be a final result, and people are going to look at it.
They're going to see you.
They're going to
They're really
see,
gonna see you.
yes, they're going to see a part of me
Yeah.
that I've hidden for so long. And that most people don't even know about. And
Yes.
they're going to see this. And I questioned myself, did I make a mistake? Why did I do this? Is it, too private to share? And then my husband, he said to me, he says, remember why you did it in the first place. He says that it was to help other people recognize that it's a shared experience.
That's
it's not just you going through that. There has to be thousands of women that are experiencing something similar. But the doubt started to surface, and then I remembered the real reason as to why I'm doing it. But sometimes I still have that, like, what are people gonna think of me once they read this?
They're gonna think you're absolutely brilliant, resilient, strong. That's how I feel after reading that book, and to see you go through the journey that you have, and be here and also speaking about your journey. There's too many women that won't do it, and your bravery is just it's seriously something else. So clearly putting pen to paper, and it's made a difference, and it's going to make more of a difference. But did you ever feel that when writing, was it bringing out more of the pain, or was it kind of normalizing the pain or settling the pain for you?
It was healing, because it gave me a space to breathe. Like, I was able to exhale by writing all my feelings onto onto paper, by putting pen to paper. I was just letting go. So it was healing in that sense. But when I read the book thereafter, I cried that this is my story. This is a piece of me, like raw, unfiltered me. This is what I've been through. And I don't know, I sometimes think maybe I shouldn't have, but I did.
I think I can tell you, that thought should be placed in the back of your head, because what you've done is a very good thing.
But for me, it was actually healing. It was a source of healing for me to be able to put all this onto paper and just let go of everything that I was holding inside of me.
So how has your feedback been once the book was released? Was there any one particular word or any one particular person that said something to you, or a message, or that made you realize, this is why I've done this?
A friend of mine, when she read the book, and she sent me a message, this voice note, where she was crying this ugly, snotty cry.
Yes.
And she says she cannot believe how brave I was. And I would have never thought of bravery as a defining trait. And she says that she's amazed by how I put on myself every day, and being so brave to actually do this.
And be vulnerable to a point where you let out what your inner was feeling.
Yes. So that for me was a powerful reaction, because I mean, I don't think of myself as brave, having gone through this, but she saw it as something courageous.
Yeah, a lot of women are going to see that as definitely courage, bravery. You've got to own those stamps now. Definitely. I want to just touch on something that I know you did touch on it in the book with regards to adoption. What's your take on that? And I know it did cross your mind, and if you could just fill us in a little bit.
It still crosses my mind, but I've also put that thought on hold, because I needed to heal myself completely before I take on the pain of a little child, because that little child, they also had
Yeah, I get you.
a tough,
Yeah.
a tough start to life, because either their mom left them or something happened
Yes,
where
yes.
they are put in
Thanks.
that position.
Yes.
So I need to be strong enough to have to, take them in. So I needed to heal myself first before
Absolutely.
taking somebody and loving them. I'm not I'm actually, I've considered it so many times, but then on the same on the spectrum, I want to be able to experience all those little things,
Of
those
course.
baby
It's your
kicks
right to.
and
Yeah.
those things. And people just say, why don't you adopt?
Like it's
Like,
the best, easiest
it's
thing.
the
Yeah.
easiest thing. Like, just go pick a
Yeah,
child
yeah,
and
yeah.
I want that one. And
When there's so much, there's so much to it. There's so
yes.
much to it, and I think when you're not so informed about it, it's very easy to just tell someone who doesn't have kids, go and adopt a child. Yes, there's tons of kids who need homes and what have you, but I love the fact that you've said it's basically you needed to be whole in order to consider bringing a child into your life or adopting a child, so you could be whole for them, because it's so true that they also coming from a not good start in life, so there's all these different elements to think about. um, yeah, but I mean, the fact that you've thought about it, that means you have looked at all different avenues, and yeah, it's, but also don't have that as now, because I know society can also go from, oh, are you having a baby? Oh, why don't you adopt? Then the adoption becomes a pressure
Yes.
as well. And then it goes like, oh, but what are people going to think now? I mean, it's selfish. I don't want to adopt. So also, yeah, that, I think even women out there contemplating that or in similar position, to not have that as a pressure as well, that you should or you have to, but yeah. So if your book could whisper one truth to every woman battling infertility, what would it say?
I would say hold on, but also let go. Let go of the timelines. Let go, because you are still whole. You are still a whole person, and you just need to let go of all these timelines. Let go of the pressures. Let go of all the stresses. That and just love your life the best way you know how to, because whatever makes you happy, I mean, holding on to it is not going to make it any easier.
Yeah.
So it's easier said than done, but it's doable.
It will take time. I'm sure it's not something that you can flip a switch and be okay with it the next day, but just to know that, yeah, you will be whole.
And I mean, you do get triggered here and there, but I won't lie, it happens to me a lot of times. But I've learned to let go, and I think it's given me a lot of peace by just letting go of everything entirely and just accepting.
Yeah.
Because at a point I felt accepting was failure. You were quitting, you were being a failure. But now 40 has grown me up.
Whole other perspective. That's the good thing of the 40s. It just, you've got to just embrace. And I think womanhood is not just based on your uterus. Womanhood is so much more. And this is what women have been fighting for years, to change that century-long narrative of all we're good for is being wives, daughters, and mothers. We are so much more. We have so many other roles that now we fit into. So let's embrace that. And if motherhood comes along with, then hey, it's okay. But if it doesn't come along, it's still okay. And if it's your choice to not be married, to not have children, it's still okay. It's not going to redefine you as a woman, because you are woman. That's it. So yeah, with that, thank you so much again. I think everyone out there or anyone going through the struggles of infertility, guys, you need to go out and get When the Clock Stopped. This book, you're gonna sit down and in one go read it. I can guarantee you. But it's Nerushka's innermost feelings, and I think it's gonna help so many women out there going through this journey or in this position currently. So go grab this book. But that's it for our final episode for season 1, actually, of Truth Bombs and Hot Flushes, and how lovely it was to share the seat with the beautiful Nerushka. So guys, up until the next season, and there's so much more coming through, so much more excitement, so many more women with so many more real unfiltered stories, a lot more of me and my page. Hopefully by season 2 I would try and buy heart some stuff, but yeah, a lot more to look forward to. So that's it for Truth Bombs and Hot Flushes, signing off.